Okay, so we are now live. We're about to start our class. Today we'll be concentrating on political development. Political development. We are starting on the topic. We are starting with the topic political development. Political development. So, but comment. We would like to start off with political development. This is the topic that most people would like to know much about. Political development. What is it and what is it all about? Political development. And this is the first semester of 2024. And my name is Dr. Emmanuel Nweke Okafor. And this subject is peace and governance. And the Graduate School of Peace Studies and Diplomacy. We try to share our ideas and we collected most of the points here from online sources as well. So we are now about to talk on political development. For a number of students to join us so that we will join in because today's class is very, very coming. We're waiting for you guys. We're waiting for you guys to join us, join the class. Come on in, guys, because today's topic is very hot. Yeah. Come on in on. About to analyze, we're about to handle things differently in today's class. Political development. Yeah, political development, political development, political development. Yes, SEPI, maybe you, is it really from here or from your own side? Political development. So, come on, come on, come on, coming on, come on, come on, come on. We want to start students and other people joining us. The master's degree program. This is a graduate school. Smith, and you're welcome. Emmanuel Obi. Okay, okay, so political development. Let me put the class. So we're about to start. We're about to start the class as we wait for some students to coming in on as we struggle to wait for them. We have decided to kickstart. Some students are on their way coming, and the class is on political development, and the class is on the fourth floor of this our building. Welcome, Mr. Owando Moses. Were you missing our class that you want to join us today? So let's welcome Owando Moses. He's one of our vibrant students from Imo State. So Owando Moses just came in now. You just come in. You just come in or came in? Wando just entered the class right now. So Wando, you are highly welcome. Very vibrant and very academic in his own positions as well. And here already is Mr. Smith from Liberia. And the one is from Nigeria, Imo State to be precise. If you could recall, if you are listening, if you are following this channel, he's one of those that did the presentation both in English and Igbo language. And he did marvelously very well that day. Go and check it in the program, in the channel. And here is Emmanuel Obi. Emmanuel Obi is a graduate of, he graduated in political science anyway. And he's the one that is teaching us a lot in this particular class. So Emmanuel, you are welcome as we wait on other students to come in. Meanwhile, today Emmanuel will do a presentation to us. Let's hope there will be enough time. He will do his own presentation on Socrates, the great philosopher. So I'm sure he's loaded. He has always been loaded. Needless to think about today that he has the floor. Okay. So as we move on, we stay on our class on political development. So some people said the signal quality is not okay. So what do we do? Is it okay? You are hearing? Is it okay with you? Huh? Oh, really? How about yours? Are you in? Did you log in? Huh? Emmanuel, did you notice any internet issue? Oh, you are not logged in yet. Is it okay? Did you put on the earphone? Just to know, because some people are saying that there is an issue. Do you have earphone? Can you use your earphone so that we know if it's working or not? Is that? Did you do that? Yes. Some people are saying the internet is not. Shake is working. Did you lock the door? No. Everywhere? I didn't lock it. So what can we do? Is it from internet? Yes. So what do we do? Huh? Are you using CM University internet? So I have to use my own, which means I will switch off. Mike, Mazi Obidike Michael, can you shake if it's better now? Michael, Obidike Michael, can you just check if it is better now? Chisom Eze, Mr. Victor, is it okay now? Sepi, can you check if the internet is okay now? Because I just started using mine on. Okay, Golden said it's better now. Okay, so Victor, thank you very much. So as we wait for the students, we are discussing about political development. Political development. This is very, very important topic. This topic is most political development. So the students are coming gradually. You are with Mike, right? You are. Okay, so without wasting time, I was waiting for you guys to come, so I decided to start doing something. So we are on political development. So approaches to political development. So may I start as usual? Let's start with individual contribution. What do we understand by political development? Let's begin with Emmanuel Obi. What do we understand by the term political development?
Um, in my own perspective, political development, it could be referred to the changes or an event that influences the structures, the systemic decisions, the directions in the political institution. Both the leadership and all the governmental parastatals. But above all, when we hear the term political development, it has everything to do with changes uh, within the political institution. For example, when we talk about election, once there is a new government in a state, there is a changes. When there is a shift in political parties, there is a change. When there is an impeachment, there is a change. And when the policies, the policy, the decision being implemented in the state is not wholly accepted in the state by the citizens, and there will be, let's say there is a protest going on by the masses, and after the protest, the government decides to establish a new policy that will favor the citizens. There is a changes there. There is a political development, and this political development we see, it doesn't look at the local level only. It has everything to do with local, national, and even international. And when we talk about the international aspect of the development, when there is a changes in foreign trade, when the policies is being changed, and there is an adoption of new policies in foreign trade between a country and a country, there is a development there. And when maybe one side of the country puts a policy that the other side do not accept, and they kick against it, they may come up on a round table to negotiate with each other. That is a development. So when we are seeing this development, we are seeing it in the angle of local. When the citizens do not accept the policies of the government, they protest and there will be change. We see it in national, when there is total election, where if the institution, the government institution do not like the present government and they decide to make an impeachment, there is a changes there. So when we come on the international level, and the foreign trade is not working out well between the two states, and they decide to make an amendment or a little adjustment, there is a changes there. So to crown it all, when we talk about political development, we are talking about the recent changes, the changes in government, the trends, the events that takes place in the government that brings about a new development within the political institution and the governmental parastatals. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you very much for your contribution. Can we go to Emmanuel Ngozi?
Okay, good evening, everyone. Okay, what I understood by the word political development is related to politics. It's a process by which some of political process are being changed. For example, let's use Nigeria as an example. The way the political system are changing from worst to good is a process of political development. Also, in our economic development, social cultural development, and other areas which are developing, which needs a political contribution to develop, is also called political development. When we have all these changes in different dimensions, it is referred as political development. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. So now let's listen to Mr. Chinedu. Political development. What does that mean? Tell us.
Hello,
What do you understand that to mean?
Hello, everyone. In my own understanding, first of all, development is all about changes, progress, and evolutions in political system, and it encompasses changes in governance, political culture, and mechanism. And these changes could be institutional development, democratization, and political stability. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. So let's listen to Mr. Stephen. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Stephen from Myanmar. Okay.
Yes.
So what do you understand by the word political development? Welcome, sir. No idea?
No idea.
No idea. Can you give to Wanda? So share with us his own understanding of political development. Wanda.
Okay, political development, let's say, is an innovation that takes part in politics. For instance, a present government can see where the people they suscited are lacking behind. They can continue from there to develop the economic section. They can see maybe they are lacking in the economic section. So they can choose to innovate it and make it more functional. That is what we call political development.
Okay, can we hear from you, Smith?
Okay.
Smith is from Liberia.
Yeah, firstly, we have to look at the word politics or political. Is something like politics, something like an interest for few people. We call it politics. Then we look at the development aspect. The word development, it depends on the individual or the people, because some people can find negative to be a development. Some people feel positive is the right way to develop. Okay, so my definition political development, it refers to the process through which political systems evolve, adapt, and become more effective in responding to the needs of their societies. For example, the structure of the election in Africa to be a development. Some people see positive way to be a development. So the structure of our political leaders, they have structured their election in a way like selective. So that's my view.
Okay, wonderful. Let's hear from our professor, Dixon.
Okay. Political development. Trying to dissect the word political, first of all, have to do with it's an encompassing term that have to do with that falls under governance, and which include both the governed and both the led and the leaders. So political development is an encompassing word used to describe the dynamic occurrences as it has to do with governance, public affairs, and every other activities as it has to do with the led and the leaders. That's governance in general. It could be institutional development, social development, economic, as the case may be. Political development also, that's most popular among them we know, includes both election period, coup d'etat period, and as the case may be, they are all political developments. Thank you very much.
Okay. Wonderful. That is wonderful. So let's start taking it one after the other and see if we can agree. Political development, approaches to political development. I will try to tackle the situation with the approaches: dependency, evolutionary, and institutional. Monitor this. Political development is an important topic and a complex one. In this lesson, we will explore three models used to help explain the ways that development can occur. Political development. What did you want to be when you grow up? What did you want to be when you grow up? Astronaut, a poet, a lecturer, a taxi driver, a writer for an online educational company. We all have ideas about where we will end up, but that is not always what happens. Hello? Are you there? Get it clearly before the debate will start. What did you want to be when you grow up? An astronaut? A poet? Is it a lecturer? Is it a doctor? A writer of an online educational company? We all have ideas about where we will end up, but that is not always what happens. Do you agree with that? Why? Sometimes various events or people in our lives impact our development. Nations exist in a very similar way. Just like what you intended to achieve, eventually something made it impossible, something made it possible. The same thing is applicable when we talk about nations. What we mean by nation, we mean Myanmar, we mean Sierra Leone or Liberia, we mean Nigeria, and we mean all over the world, different countries. We move on. In general, we refer to the building and growth of a nation's institutions and systems as its political development. Are you getting the point? We refer to the building and growth of a nation's institutions and systems as its political development. The goal of any nation is to develop into a strong, healthy country and to continue developing throughout time. But political development can occur or be influenced in a variety of ways. As we all learned from being kids, development is never as simple as we expect. Is that correct? Just imagine a country. And also imagine a Nigeria as a country. Imagine a Liberia as a country. Imagine a Myanmar as a country. Emmanuel Obi, are you there? I hope. Thank God you will have to present today so that you calm down. You see that? Of course, this has been one of the things Emmanuel Obi has been hammering in this class, although he uses a different approach. As we all learn from being kids, development is never as simple as we expect. Why? Okay, let's move on. Now let's understand political development from dependency approach. Dependency approach. Listen to this very clearly, because political terminologies, international relations terminologies are sometimes not normal terminologies. And of course, most of you here graduated from Smith. I remember I graduated from economics. Yeah. And one that graduated from religion and history. He's closer. And Chinedu graduated from economy as well. I don't know, I've forgotten. Am I correct, Mr. Chinedu? Correct. Collins, you graduated from what? Banking. Can you imagine? I don't know what you guys are doing here. Emmanuel Lungozi, you graduated from what? Business administration. And then she's the one here, business administration. Stephen, from engineer, oh my God. Sir, mass communication, yeah, closer to the. So Emmanuel will be from what? Political science. You see what? You see him? That's why you two of you will never agree in this class. Anyway, approach is the point. Dependency approach. While there are many approaches to political development, today we are going to talk about three of the most commonly debated. For this first approach to political development, imagine the following scenario. Imagine, I said imagine. There is a kid, his uncle owns a car repair shop and doesn't trust new workers. Get it, please. I repeat, there is a kid, his uncle owns a car repair shop and doesn't trust new workers. So the uncle trains the kid to become a mechanic, pays for him to finish mechanic school, and then hires him to fix cars. The kid developed a trade and a skill, but had no say in what that skill would be. It was determined by someone else, someone with something to gain. Hello? I'm not sure you guys are here where I am. Hello? Do I repeat it again? Do I repeat it again? Okay, let me repeat. There is a child, a very younger one. His uncle owns a car repair shop, and doesn't trust new workers. Get this very clearly so that you will not, when Emmanuel Obi will start talking, you will get him. Or when you will start talking, he will get you. And any other thinkers that are in a different, that are coming from dissenting views. There is a kid, his uncle owns a car repair shop and doesn't trust new workers. His uncle has a car repair shop, but does not trust new workers, employing anybody. So the uncle trains the kid to become a mechanic, pays for him to finish mechanic school, and then hires him to fix a car, to fix cars. Are you getting that one? He trains him, he did everything for him, and then employed him because he doesn't trust new ones. The kid developed a trade and a skill, which means the kid went to school, got every information. In fact, he's loaded, but had no say in what that skill would be. It was determined by who? The uncle. Someone with something to gain. That is his uncle. Don't forget where we're heading to. We're talking about political development. And we say that the political development is how the country grows, develops, as most of you have shared. It is not just to go to AI and immediately ask AI what is political development and answer it in the class perfectly. No. You have to understand it deeply. What is political development? So, let me go further. Before I know Emmanuel will make a presentation today, so let's cut it short for him. That same theory can be applied to political development through dependency approach. That is dependency approach. Instead of a kid or his uncle, imagine a colonial empire and its colony. Traditionally, an empire uses its colonies to extract resources, say diamonds, say gold, say fuel, or whichever one you want to call it, which the empire then turns into product it can sell on a global market. The colony gains institutions like governments and infrastructures, but they are all focused on a singular role of extracting resources for the empire. Political development occurs, but is controlled by someone else. I want to repeat it again. Are you guys there? It's clear, right? No need to repeat it, right? Okay, say one more time. Hey, hold it. We're one more time. Just hold on. Let me repeat it so that we start again and begin our contributions. Remember what we said here. Let me go back to, because the main important is to understand this. The kid developed a trade and a skill, but had no say in what that skill could be. It was determined by someone else, someone with something to gain. Okay, that same theory can be applied to political development through the dependency approach. What does that mean? Instead of a kid and his uncle, imagine a colonial empire, imagine British government, imagine American government, imagine all these powerful governments and its colony. Traditionally, an empire uses its colonies to extract resources, say diamond, which the empire then turns into a product it can sell on the global market. The colony gains institutions. Of course, they are country like you call it Nigeria. They are country like you call it Liberia. They are country like you call it Myanmar, and so on and so forth. They are like governments and they have infrastructure, but they are all focused on the singular role of extracting resources for the empire. Who is the empire here? Colonial master. Political development occurs, but is controlled by someone else. Let's move on before the debate will begin. While the dependency approach is easy to apply to colonial empires, that is actually not what it was originally used to describe. The same model applies to any relationship in which a stronger power benefits from controlling the development of a weaker state. Specifically, Latin American scholars noted that American and European investors were building up industries and institutions in Latin America for their own gain. The same thing happens in Africa too. You know, they had a meeting in Berlin and apportioned who controls which particular area in Africa. As a matter of fact, World War II, or whatever it is, don't forget, sometimes it appeared that all these masters left their people behind and were using their colonies, some of the people they got from somewhere. They will only put them British uniform, or American uniform, or whatever. But the person wearing the uniform is not American, is not a British person. Their people are there, of course, but then they just, for example, come to Nigeria and pack them, or go to Liberia and pack them, shift them for the battle. I think political science and international relations, they are subjects that we must all look into critically. So political development was occurring, but it was not in a way that was ultimately beneficial in Latin America. The development was exploitative. Now I leave the floor for you. How can you define this dependency theory? Situate it in your own country. What is it happening or is not? Okay. So Emmanuel Obi, do you have any point? Do you think do you think in Nigeria there is a political development? Yes. Can you help us? Do you think in Nigeria there is a political development?
I'm using this dependency theory, right?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, in Nigeria, there are a lot of political development, and we as the citizens, we see that. Just that once you are not them, once you are not politically inclined, you don't have to say anything. Even though you say anything, the other way around, you will face the consequences. So to situate it with dependency theory, actually not only Nigerians are passing through this dependency theory. It has been there since colonialism, since the colonial era, and the dependency theory even come to the citizens direct. Even when you are dealing with your fellow being, the person will not allow you to exercise that your mind. So far, the person is financially balanced than you. The dominism. Okay, let me bring it down. This dependency theory is all about the core developed country, those who are financial balanced, those who are technological advanced, the developed country that dominates the underdeveloped or the developing countries. So when I bring you to Nigeria as a case study, we all see in political techniques, we are politically plus, economically minus. But within the advancement and the scope of my study of what is going on in Nigeria, we are politically minus and economically minus as well. Now, that is what Karl Marx said in his theory, that before you should start talking about your infrastructure, you have to build up your base. What is that your base? Your base is your economy. Before you want to uphold your infrastructure, that is your political right. You have to build your base. Make sure that nobody tempers your base. Now, this dependency theory is very clear to us that during the election, there is an external factor. The external policy decisions being established and is working effectively in our country. They are the external determinants militating against political elections in Nigeria. Though we have internal factors militating against our election, and we still have the external factors, but the internal factor may not have the complete right to exercise their corruptive measures on the citizens during electoral period without the connection of the external factors. And what is that external factors? The colonial empires. They determine. Now, when we look at our economy today, we see first, before Nigeria independent, there is this we debated in the class, and we said that we have 4 ancient tigers. I think Singapore is there. Is it Japan? I think Hong Kong is there as well with another one. What did they do? They fought for their economic independence. They fought for their economic independence. They do not go straight to fight for their political independence, because they understand this, that once you gain your economic independence, political independence will be added. Because with your economic power, you can pursue your political power. You can pursue your political power without having the economic base. And this is what the colonial empires use to manipulate us, to keep in touch with our political affair, because they are having the core items, they are having the key in our economy. Now, the idea is this: you give us your resources in a cheaper rate, resell it. We are going to produce our primary resources in our own town, in our own country, resell it cheaper rate. They will refine it and resell it back to us in a higher level. Why would they give us that? We don't even know how to fight for our economic independence. There is no economic sector that is established by the indigenes. And this is what, is it Babangida that established this indigenization policy? That is SAP, Structural Adjustment Program, indigenization policy. Let the indigene grow. Let us stop importation. Let us stop exportation. Establish in your country. And along the line, I don't know, it couldn't work out. For someone to be economically free will be very, very difficult. If you do not tackle it before gaining your political freedom, you may not be able to succeed in gaining that political economic freedom. And this is what we have been passing through. They will collect the thing they want from our side in a cheaper rate, because we are the primary source. And when you look at those people who are rich more than us, who are developed more than us, the resources, they don't have what it takes to be that developed. Just that they are being opportuned to be technological advanced more than us. And they are getting our resources as if it is theirs. And this is what we sit down, fold our hands, and watch them. And when you come up to say anything about it, the recent government will come against you. And this is what we are seeing in the environment. And that's why we can never be, the situation keeps going worse. Because if you are being put in the place, the governmental system in Nigeria has been designed in the favor of the colonial empires and the sitting government as well. So when you come to the position to make some changes, first, they may not allow you to be there if they see that you will not agree with what they say. Because the system has been designed and you can never do anything about it. The way they design it, it will favor the government and as well favor the colonial empires.
So no solution. That's what we are saying.
There is a solution. There is a solution, but it will take time if tribalism will go. But if Nigeria keeps
How
on...
can tribalism go when they are even the one that instituted the structure?
That is what
Nigeria tribalized.
Yes, there is a solution first. The solution is this. Because if you understand what I said earlier enough, that they designed this. How did they design it? They instigated grievances in us, letting us know that we are different, letting us know that this tribe do not love this tribe, putting confusion among us. They keep on using economic strangulation strategies on us, trying to destabilize, and not even trying, destabilizing the economy from the higher level to the lower level. That is number one, they did. And that's why if you come up to, if you want to rise up, someone who use an economic strangulation on you, I don't think you can do anything. Because let's say, for example now, this current president, let's say 2027, what I see there with the political view and philosophical approach I use in studying their designation, they use economic strangulation on the poor masses. What do I mean by this? Destabilizing the economy so that hunger will beat us to no return. And if they come 2027, they will be like, we are going to stabilize the economy, things will be okay. They will use it for they affect political promises on the citizen, because once you are handicapped economically, you can never rise up. Another designation is this: if you are someone who want to protest against the government, and they look at you, you want to protest, they will say, okay. And it happens you are into the government, but you want to say something. Most of people who are in government, they went there with good heart. They went there to govern the people justly. They went there to uphold justice on the people. But when they come inside the circle, once you are in the circle, the design of the circle will never pave a way for you to uphold that justice on the citizens. And they will try to corrupt you in that system. They will try to implicate you, so that if you rise up to talk against them, you are handicapped. They will give you, or you will be enjoying yourself, give you political appointment that will benefit you. You will show your hand in so many cases that when you rise up to go against them, you can never talk. They will bring those things you did that is very, very wrong. And if you try to do that, they will probe you.
But in Nigeria, we have somebody like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, and we have someone like Akunyili that was assigned to a particular portfolio, and she did it. And I think Ngozi also did it very, very well. And currently, Peter Obi, as a past governor of Anambra State, was exceptional. So in other words, it's possible that individuals can still make a change and stand on their ground. And then that individual includes you and I as a solution, because what you're saying is 100% correct in my own view. I'm supporting that. But the point is that maybe we might differ when in the terms of solution, because the solution is you and the solution is me. And if we can believe in this, we can agree with this dependency approach, and then we agreed on it, then how am I going to handle it in my own offices, in my own current state as a person, your own current state as a Nigerian who believes in this kind of approach that is not okay? Because the point is that when myself or yourself or anybody here keep apportioning blame to the dependency gods, then where's the solution? Because whether you like it or not, currently I'm a I'm a Nigerian and I'm an Igbo Nigerian to say it all. But at the same time, I have an office and I should be implementing some of the things that I think that will enable my own people to get what they want, to get to their desired aspiration, especially when it has to do with education, especially when it has to do with my own office. You see that? That is my challenge. And that is where I can make a change in my own little way, no matter how unworthy, no matter how unprofessional I may be doing that. And the same may apply to you and may apply to everybody here. Because the tendency, another approach is to enter into the approach of blame game all the time. I know I do that also. And most of us will fall into that. So the question is, what is the solution? And that solution, given that all that you just said, now if you get there, you get corrupt. I understand that very clearly. Because every time I try to link my own experience with the one I know, because I don't know the one I don't know. I don't know what happens in that political arena until I get there. But the one I know in this present position I am as a teacher and as one at an administrator as well, especially in this university. Sometimes I have found how decisions are made, and then you see that the person, the people that the decision might affect, the person is not even working towards a better solution. The person might even, whether you like it or not, behaving in a way that you get confused. For example, if a policy is being carved out for students, you might support that policy, bearing in mind, I may support certain policies, bearing in mind that it will favor the students. But the behavior of the student in question is something else. Sometimes even you that support that particular policy might be in trouble. So that is why, from this experience, I may not have the right word to share it but how wish this is in Igbo language, I would say much. Because the fact is that we know that dependency theory is not the best. We know that dependency theory is just like imprisonment, like you said, and I agree with that. But what is our step? What is the steps? What are the solutions? What are the steps? What are the things we are currently, having known this, what are we putting there in order to make it better in our little way? Not necessarily becoming a president yet of a Federal Republic of Nigeria, not necessarily becoming a senator or House of Rep, not necessarily becoming a governor, or in our individual today approach. How? So do you have any solution for that? This question is for everybody anyway. This concern is for everybody. But I don't know if do you have anything to add to it?
Okay, let me just say a little about it. In terms of solution first, we all saw what happened during election. And I think Nigerian citizens, they know what they want. They actually know what they want. And we know the solution by ourselves. But the question is this: those in power, will they allow the solution to come in first? We know that P2B is a professional, is an expertise in that field. We know. And most of the people, they were behind him. And we know that he won the election.
That is speculation sometimes, because some of us in this kind of belief, of course, I'm also part of it, we may tend to think that he actually won the election because of our own construct, because of our own stand. But sometimes things are not the way we may think. And experience has taught me a lot, actually, being an administrator in this school. Sometimes a particular student is defining, analyzing things that are strange, things that are not, what is on board is not what they're analyzing. Because if I will agree that the powers that be plotted a lot of things, used money, starting from INEC and even the judges, I may agree with that. But I may also agree that even as they were doing it, they also did it with voters who voted for them, who they tried to manipulate. And then they got that particular thing, because some people will come out and say, oh, Well, but what they voted, they were given 2,000 naira, and they voted for something else. And it was so plotted in such a way that they considered the states that are needed and in the east, knowing fully well that eastern part are mostly going for it. And that is why River State is an issue. All those other parts, they were an issue. That is why Wike, in my own view, I may be wrong, may have been given a ministerial position because he played a very vital role. Imagine if Cross River was at the pocket of Obi. Imagine that. But then you know what happened, and eventually, maybe I don't know, but I may be wrong in my calculation. But that's why he was compensated, even though he is from a different party, because they calculated it. Because sometimes some of us in the classroom, some of us are Igbo people, we tend to analyze things emotionally. We tend to analyze things from hearsay. But then just calm down. How many of us do read newspaper on daily basis in order to get politically informed, in order to get the required information on how to handle issues? You will count it. It's rare. Look at the issue we're talking about, Biafra. Biafra. Is Biafra in the Facebook? It should be Biafra be given to us in the Facebook, or should it be given to us in Instagram? Even though those are tools to get people, but there must be diplomatic structure. There must be a kind of administrative tenets following that. And there must be an alignment. There must be a coalitions here and there, not just on the Facebook, and then somebody will claim one thing that never existed, and people, because most of us are marketers, most of us are buying and sellers. So we tend to go and think that because you read something in the Facebook, therefore, it's going to be. That's why sometimes you see some Biafran agitators, they say Israel is this, Israel is supporting Biafra. My brother, those are just photoshopping. But I'm not saying that particular tool, Facebook or social media, social media isn't okay. It's okay, my own view, but then there must be something on the ground that will tally with the United Nations mandate. The same thing is, in my own view, applied in Nigerian last election. Even while we are junketing, gallivanting, and rejoicing, or be one name 75, or be 72, 73. People who know how to plot Nigerian politics, they were moving around doing the needful. At the end of the day, even the court said otherwise.
You see, the major problem we have as far as democracy is concerned is monetization first. And if you watch the American politics, not same with Nigerian politics, and those are those ones that we are looking forward in playing our own politics. Now, you made comment of the election being monetized and the people voting person who they should not, but out of economically imbalance, the system were monetized. But when we look at the American politics, how many people were monetized to vote for this and vote for that? I think the voting there is free and fair. That, in my own perception.
Then why? That's the point. Why?
Because they understand. Because number one, they are matured in playing that politics.
Oh, very good. Then how can we, you and I, be matured?
Now, the first step, if Nigeria as a country want to develop, if those people in power, that they will not be used because of financial infrastructure, because of their stomach infrastructure. If they want to maintain equity and fairness
in
Nigeria,
you blaming those in power, or are you blaming those that collected the money and then voted otherwise?
Now, if you hear me before I say this, I told you that these people designed a system. First, economic strangulation. You understand? Economic strangulation, keeping us in poverty. And that's why people can be easily monetized. That is the first thing I said. And that is the major thing that is happening in our political system now. They strangle our economy. That's why the person in power now, first thing, everything start going low. Why? Is that not leadership again? Is that not democracy again? Why should he come in and everything begin to going upside down? That is economic strangulation, so that he will come to 2027 for next election with the incumbent power he has. And that's what we are facing today now, because we cannot do anything because we are handicapped. And if you want to strike anybody, you will strike the person with economic strangulation. Believe me, you will stop the person in total and out total. And the best thing for Nigeria to do, if they still want us to remain in Nigeria, not to secede, you understand, is for us to practice confederation. That is it. For us to practice confederal system of government. America, I think America is even more populated than Nigeria, but they are playing confederal system there, where every state will have their authoritarian power on their citizens, not straight to the president. And this is what Nigeria is passing through, because when you keep on playing presidential system, every power is being allocated to the president. And we are thinking that governors have the right. Governors do not have the right. If it were that we are practicing confederal system of government, believe me, Nnamdi Kanu would have been out of the prison by now.
Yeah, okay, now I have a question. Can you prove to me why I should be blaming the leaders when they give money, when they provide money, when they use money as an incentive? A mature person like me, and I accepted the money and voted for another person based on money. We
saw what happened in Imo State election when Governor Hope Uzodinma was the fourth. Yes. And the court, the judicial parastatal promoted him to the first. So even without your money, they will still put those measures on you.
Who are those?
No.
Who are those?
You see, let me tell you. Let me know you and I. Whether there's a statement the president made that whether you vote me or not, I will become the president. The structure in Nigeria is that there has been selection before the election. So this election we are seeing is just hide and seek.
So the problem we are having in Nigeria now, is it caused by our leaders or caused by you and I?
It's caused by our leaders, not even you and I, because our vote doesn't count.
I can't.
Go to Imo State. How many people voted him? That is what you ask yourself. Let him present the document he used in voting. No. Let him present the document he used in voting, and we see everything. I worked as a PO2 during this election. Do you understand? I worked as a PO2 during the Nigerian presidential election. Let me tell you something. The Senate, I uploaded the stuff. The House of Assembly uploaded it, but this presidential one couldn't be uploaded. I slept in the secretariat, waiting for my result to be uploaded.
Okay, now, my own concern about your position is not that you are wrong, but I have a big problem when you try to say and convince me that the money is shared and money distributed for someone to vote in certain ways, and I, as a mature person in Nigeria, collected the money and voted against my conscience. And now I should blame the
leaders.
Now, first,
because this is the area where we are having issues. You are trying to. I agree with you that sometimes our votes are sold. I agree with you that sometimes things are actually decided. But I have problem. I agree with you that I brought in money to Collins, and Collins collected this money and voted against his conscience, and therefore I should be blamed for Collins that has a family that knows how to feed the children. The Collins that is so mature is actually 40 years, sometimes 50 years, and some of them 60 years, collected. So this area of running away from this responsibility is what we disagree.
Okay.
Because it makes voting just like we are buffaloes, we are cows, we are goats.
Now, I want to say something. During the Imo State election, there was why I'm precising on this. During the Imo State election, there was sit at home. And some areas in that Imo State, election did not hold. How come did they brought that document? They use a manipulation. to tell you, even those the money, the money.
Okay, now hold it.
Yes.
But remember that even if they have brought in something in that demonstrated situation,
Mm.
if there is a complaint, right?
Yes.
So either someone like you may have been who's the name wouldn't have been the one that completed everything alone, right? Then who's the name, even if his wife or his family wouldn't have been the one that did everything. Someone else like you, a mature person like you,
That did it.
was
Yeah.
either they are 5 of them or 10 of them.
No. The difference. See, let me tell you.
The difference now.
Thank you.
I want him to understand.
No.
Yes.
See,
The blame is only
It's not the leader. It's not the leader.
that is what I said earlier
Yeah,
enough.
right.
Number one thing I said here is first, for a state to understand their political structure, you have to maintain your economic base. After the war, Guam promised 3 things. After the Biafra Civil War, Guam promised 3 things: reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. What are that reconstruction? To put a regional government, this confederate now we are talking about. Why did he not do that? Is a question. To tell you now that this corruption we see did not go from the under to the upper, but from the upper to the down.
In other words,
Now, the
you're
money,
accepting the fact that-
the money,
you're
now,
accepting the fact with this premise
Let-
that it shouldn't be
Mhm.
solely on the leaders, that you and I, who are not
Contributed
who are
to
followers,
that.
should be held responsible.
you will not hold the citizens responsible.
Why?
Because number one, I said something here: economic strangulation first. Second, even though you vote the person out, they will still manipulate it. This is fair. It's not a presumable because Bill state election has already is cleared. It's cleared now. Okay, let us see what happened. Abuja being a federal capital territory of Nigeria, how the constitution say that the president, the presidential aspirant must win this particular state, this particular territory before you assume that political position. We ask ourselves, it's not constitutionally now.
Yeah.
They revise it. No, why?
Legal interpretation is legal interpretation. I'm not an expert in legal interpretation. But the point is, the area I want us to for you to just understand first of all is that excluding me that collected money from leaders is not.
Why don't you collect the money? The money they give you is the money they extort from. Is our money.
Imagine.
Even though you vote them out, they will still vote themselves in. It's not presumable. Because we have seen this several here. We see everything.
That is the problem.
If you give me money, I will collect my money. That is my money. I will not even vote you. Or even though I vote you, that is it. Because even though I vote you out, you are still there. It has been designed. This is Nigeria system now.
I think Collins has something to say. The point is that I just want you to. The point is that everything you are saying, in my own view, I agree. I agree in everything you are saying. The only way I don't agree is that to keep blaming government for someone, mature person that was giving money, and he voted against his conscience. There is nothing that would have happened by Uzodimma, you call it Uzodimma. Pope Uzodimma. He is not the only person that now brought in the vote. Someone went and did those things. There are people that are there, and those people that are there are you and I, mature people like you and I. They should also be held responsible. That is where we differ. Because what you are saying, I agree with that, but I cannot accept the fact that because something like that was done, some people were used, and those are the people that we should be talking about as well. Because, for example, we agree that the political leaders, they are messing us up in Africa. Well and good. But how about those of us that allowed ourselves to be put over? That is my concern. Okay, Collins, what have you to say about this? I just gave you money, and then you voted against your conscience. And then after that, you start blaming me.
Firstly, we are now saying in the past, because from recent times, let me use this past election, like we are saying now.
That's what.
The more Nigerians have come to realize that this thing is like this. First, these colonial masters have impoverished the citizens in a way that it will be very difficult. It will be very difficult.
Very well in their own country.
Fine. Why?
Do you know? Okay, now.
Okay.
Tell me, just to be frank, to be fair. If you get a European visa now,
Okay.
a friend of you got Thailand visa, another one got Myanmar visa, another one got Cambodia visa, and you got European visa. Just be frank, how do you feel? Which one do you think God has answered his prayer more?
It's me, huh?
I got you European visa.
Yes.
That is the mindset. That is, how can I keep blaming people that were smart enough, intelligent enough, duped us, destroyed us, used our resources to develop their place, and their place are still well developed today. How can I keep blaming them when you and I are here, sitting here, not thinking? How many of us do even read newspapers to think critical and reason properly? So
Okay.
you see, that's the issue. That is the main thing. Because the mindset is already there. Imagine a Nigerian pastor playing you that will get a visa
That
to
is
Australia in Jesus' name.
That is it.
Get a visa for America in Jesus'
This is
name.
what
You
they.
get a visa for UK. That visa you are looking for.
You
I
say,
saw,
raise your phone.
Credit
You know, these people have come.
I mean, why?
That is why.
Because the problem is that when we keep pushing it to them to be holding them responsible, we forget that we are behaving like buffaloes.
That's why in
Goats,
recent times we are
cows,
fighting to break out from
because
that.
that's the point.
Is our government.
That is why.
We keep on concentrating on the center. That is very correct.
OS member. What happened in Burkina Faso?
Yes.
What happened in Niger?
That is why I say in recent times, people like you and I are trying to break out from this thing these people have put inside us. That is why.
That is benefiting them. But then, what is your?
What have you contributed?
That is why we are here now. That is why we are here.
What have you done? Because you sold your conscience.
I refuse to take money.
If not that you sold your conscience, like Tinubu now, Tinubu wouldn't have been in that seat.
The judicial parastatal is standing firm.
You can, you see,
the president is.
do you want to tell me that all this agitation is going here and there? Are you trying to tell me that these colonial masters are not aware? They know all these things happening, but they pay deaf ears.
Then what have you done, or what are you doing?
That is why you and I.
Oh my goodness! Let the change begin with you first.
Yes.
The point
I don't blame democracy.
yeah, you may be very correct, but I keep on reminding you one thing. How can you exonerate me, as mature as I am, 50-something years old man? I think it was a 70-year-old man who was even the one saying that. 70-year-old man.
That is why. Let me tell you, this Biafra agitation, how it started.
Asari Boru, what do you call it?
Asari Dokobo. That one is a psychopath.
Okay, now forget about
you get
this.
so.
The question remains: how can you keep this? How can you provide the solution within yourself and within myself instead of consistently attacking the leaders? When even some of us cannot even do a simple assignment here. Give an assignment, somebody will go and copy and paste and submit an assignment. Is that supposed to be done by colonial masters also?
No.
As a student?
No.
Some of us here cannot even clean up. We don't know how to brush up. We don't know how to be very neat and smell better. Can that also be done by British government? Some of us wear clothes, and the clothes we wear, we forget that we're not in our country. We're supposed to be a little bit presentable. Will that also be done by Tinubu?
No.
Those ones.
This exam, in this class, we're going to do an exam. Remember, during the time of the exam, you are going to be the one to write the exam, and not Tinubu. That's it. Because the point is that when we consistently, consciously, concomitantly, and dedicatedly keep on attacking the leaders. I'm not saying that leaders should be exonerated, but when you are now condition your mind to always attack leaders, ask yourself, why are you doing that? This is a very simple thing.
Because
And
you are in
remember,
a-
we are
because
kind
you
of-
are in a government where everything you do falls. If you commit a crime
Because
in
we
a
have
place,
already believed in that pseudo position. In
you
my
have to
own
blame
view,
the government because
I
if
am
you
not
stay in
saying
the
you
state
cannot
and commit
blame-
a crime, the government will come for you.
I am not saying you cannot blame them. I'm not saying that you cannot. The essence of a government.
In your government,
Listen.
We look at the government
Because when the government doesn't provide you a job, when the environment is not.
At the election day, they gave you money, you
Okay, for instance,
collected.
look at what
Then
happened
tomorrow
in
you
Abuja.
start blaming the leaders.
Look at what happened in Abuja.
What happened in Abuja?
From the news I read, they said there
From
was
the
no.
news, so
Yes, because you said
From
we should
the-
read news and
It's correct.
Because what you get is from
I
the
say
news.
read the news critically.
Okay.
From the news, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means if the writer like you,
Okay.
who may have graduated from where you graduated and became the writer and decided to manipulate the masses, you jump into it. Because I say read news critically.
That is why
From the
everything
news, though.
has to go
From the
back to
news.
government.
From the news. I'm not, I don't know what you guys, I'm not saying that Emmanuel is not correct in what he's saying about government. I'm not saying you are wrong. No, you are not wrong in what you're saying. But where I disagree is that when all the blame should go to the government without you and I taking the responsibility, the fact that we have failed ourselves by failing our conscience, using money, 2,000 naira, 5,000 naira, and we vote against our conscience. And tomorrow you come here to tell me to blame the government under the canopy of this rubbish, in my own view, that your vote is not counted.
This started from the grassroots. A child going
Then
to
what
primary
is the
school.
solution?
A child going to primary school.
I then
Remember
said,
what you teach a child. That is what he's going to
then
do.
what is the solution?
The solution is this secession. Let everybody go.
Even the secession,
Wait.
So
I
there's
know, if
nothing
you're
like changing your
When we
dictionary.
talk about
Like the way Nigeria is now.
There's nothing like changing your dictionary.
I will predict you, bro. 20 years
So-
to come, Nigeria will now go further now.
That is it now. Wait, that is it. The corruption has been transferred to you because as the way you are saying it now, when you get to that position, you will do worst.
Let me tell you.
You will do worst. As a Nigerian, you will do worst.
Because as a Nigerian,
And you are telling me that you need change.
let me tell you.
What are you
If you go in
I
there
want
now as a Nigerian, nothing as a Nigerian, you go now, they give you president of Nigeria, you will still do the same thing. Me, I will still do the same thing. Because
Why?
Why?
because this
Since you want better life, why are you going to do
Yeah,
it?
when you try to change it,
Change your mentality, please.
Stephen has
Change that mentality. Change it. No, change that mentality.
Stephen has
Yes.
Okay,
Change that
let's listen to Stephen from Myanmar.
Okay, let me explain about what I understand about dependency abuse. In our country, we have two parties. One party is from army, and another party is from Nationally for Democracy Party. But one thing, also the people from USGP army political candidates from army. And another party, Nationally for Democracy, people from educated person, and also or how can I say, also the people from educated every sector. But one thing is, they don't trust each other. USDP party also don't trust to NLD party. NLD party people don't trust to USDP party. So it's mean our country only use dependency approach. So when we doing the election, NLD party won. Everybody know about the Aung San Suu Kyi Nobel Prize winner, but their military party don't accept this result. That's why they make their military coup. So it means also their resources and everything controlled by the army. So my understanding about the dependency approach is if we don't work in together or we don't trust to each other, yeah, dependency approach never working way in any country. Yes, never working where. If just Azamer, let me talk about that. You know the Barcelona football team. You know about the Lionel Messi. When they play one football match, also the other 10 player have only one thinking. They will give birth to Messi. He will do everything. That is the dependency approach in the football sector also. Yeah, that is what I understand about the dependency approach.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, Smith, do you have anything to say about that
Yeah.
before we get back to Emmanuel and Co?
Yeah. Oh, what my brother just said, my country, Liberia, we are going through the same thing, and my brother also. He said one thing about the leaders. They are benefiting from this approach, dependency.
Yes.
And that's why you see Africa is still like that. Because the white people, they understand us, they know us, but we don't know them. What they do, they look at your weaknesses and your strengths. They know all. So, and you look at the word dependency, because even the Bible said that God bless the hand that gave it, then they want to take it. So if you continue to take, you cannot grow. You'll always be like begging every time. You see, so this approach, I don't see it to be any good approach for Africa. If we want to rise up, we need to stop this approach. We need to use the modernization approach. That's why you see Thailand, they don't have natural resources, but they don't take the approach. Modernization approach, that's what they are doing. And once you do that, you will first structure the law, give this country good law. If you steal, you put you in prison. Make the law very strict. That's modernization approach. And once you do that, you give the people the job. And if 90% of 95% of the people have job, economy rise up. You see? So this approach is not good for Africa. Every time we beg in the Western people, then we want to go have the best education in America, in UK. We want to go have the best life. We don't even have security in Africa because of this approach.
Okay, we agree with that, but what's the solution from your own point of view?
The solution right now, if you look at the youth from Africa, we already understand the Western people. We want to change, but we are looking at the leaders, and the leaders, they are not in our interest. So if you look at in Africa right now, what they are trying to do, the white people, they are trying to shift another approach by using military. But we don't know. We say, oh, Burkina Faso have military leader is doing well. That's another approach they are trying to shift because they know the youth already understand the Western people, the way they are treating us. Guinea, they have military power. Mali, the same. They are structuring now. End of the day, they will only control the army. They don't have time for political people anymore. That's another approach because they already understand the youth eyes open on the Western people. So our solution for Africa, we need to take the modernization approach.
Modernization approach?
Yes, it's not, yes.
What is modernization approach?
Modernization approach is where you don't depend on anybody. You depend on the little you have. You structure your country in a way like everybody should have one voice. If we all have one voice, we'll never use this approach.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, now back to what we are saying. So, Chinedu, what have you to contribute about dependency theory? What are your own positions?
Okay, going back to what Emmanuel and
Which Emmanuel now? We have three Emmanuels here.
Emmanuel Obi
Okay.
And Collins said that the problem that Nigeria, because they use Nigeria as a point of contact in Emmanuel's voice, Ngozi's voice. They said that the issue that we are facing now is caused by our leaders. For me, I counter that. I said it's not them that caused it. It's you and I. Because the President Tinubu that is on seat now did not put himself there. Had it been with not so that our conscience, he wouldn't have been there. Because the people that put them there is you and I. So we should blame ourselves. We shouldn't blame the leaders. We should take up the responsibility. Let's shun corruption if we actually need changes. Because they say,
remember, in Nigerian constitution, if election is not done anywhere, they will take it to government house and do it there. And whatever they say, they put it on you. Do you know that?
But
The government, now the government of
who are the
INEC.
the government?
That is the
The
problem.
government that you're talking about, is it not you and I?
The government must have brought in people like
No, they
Is it
didn't
not
bring
you
people
and
like
I?
me. They brought INEC. They brought the instrument.
Who are the INEC? Who are the INEC?
Them. It's
Them.
not
Look
me.
at what you're saying.
I will not agree.
Is it them? Look at what you're saying.
Let me tell you. If you say it is not the people that are there, it is me and you. Remember, you don't travel more than these people.
But
Remember, I'm coming.
do your own first.
I am coming.
Do your own first. Like Emmanuel Obi say that if they give him money, that he will collect. Then tomorrow he will start blaming our leaders.
How many times they attempted her life?
But she stood her ground.
She later resigned.
She stood her
She later
ground.
resigned because they attempt for so much.
But she stood her ground.
During Buhari regime, they called her to give her appointment. She rejected it. Okay.
See that's what we're
That's all. Yes, that's all.
How many people can do it? How many people can do it?
Can you do
I
it?
cannot.
Then you don't need change.
Her effort, does it have any
Because
impact?
He has a lot of impact.
What impact?
Imagine.
Does it make
Nigeria to grow higher?
No, in her own personality, she maintained her dignity.
You know,
In her own personality, she maintained her dignity. You understand? See, bro, let me tell you something. Have you asked yourself?
They bought our conscience.
You see,
money.
let me tell you, in terms of electoral system, it can be manipulated, easily manipulated, so far as a figure. You understand? No. I want you to understand this.
Do what you're supposed to do first.
If you remove that perception,
You
that
collected money
it is
and-
your vote that is counting, you are making a very big mistake. Bro, during the voting, why is there snatching of ballot box? Why? Because now in Nigeria, let me tell you something about the kind of politics. Because they paid them. Now, in Nigeria,
You are blaming colonial
what
masters.
is?
You don't have to. No, don't have to.
Let me
You
tell you
don't have to
something.
blame them.
Wait,
The problem we are facing in Nigeria now is caused by you and I.
it's not you and I.
Believe it or not.
It's not you and I.
Believe it or not.
It's not, bro.
Okay, let's proceed.
It's not.
Right. Okay.
You can't say where. Okay, Emma.
Okay, so first of all, I have to say clear that all of you understood clearly the dependency approach. Oh, your mother has not said okay. Oh, for point of contact, okay, please can you add your own contribution before I proceed?
Okay, my own understanding on the Pendepo approach. First of all, Nigeria today, or in my own place as a Nigerian, we can testify that during 1999, Nigeria wasn't like this in terms of political instabilities. But today we are seeing some changes. Today, before we were being voted, maybe you only heard that this person is the governor or the president. But how they did the election, you don't know. But today, everybody becomes a political analyst. Everybody knows what is ballot box. Everybody knows what is electoral materials and what time election should be held and when to stop. So these are also a development.
Exactly.
These are also a development. And before the war, before there was nothing like EFCC, anti-crime agencies, but today we still have it. So that means that our political system is growing. Yeah, we are having issue in terms of electoral aspects, but we also have to understand that maybe the president or everybody who becomes the governor or the president, he don't just come up and become the president. There are masses who supported him. And these masses are me and you. We have political parties, and all these political parties are being represented by both from the polling units to the collection center and everything. So the election don't have to hold. Before election can be transmitted, it has to go on the process from the polling unit. And that polling unit, they have agencies, and those agencies are working assiduously to do what? To protect their own interests, making sure that they become number one in what? In giving votes. Because they want to be seen as in the highest people who gave the highest votes. So all these issues some of the issues it is being generated by our own individual mindsets, by our own. We all are government. Government is not only the person who is a governor or a president or any elected. You also is a part of the government. If we can put our own possible means or possible interest in protecting our election is not just to vote and go. You have to protect the vote which you did. How will you protect the vote which you did? For example, see what happened in Abia State, recent election. The opposition, why did PDP lose? Because the youth, they stood up and said, no, we cannot patronize, or we cannot support this party anymore. We want change. So they voted, and they make sure that they guide their vote, they protect their vote to the state level, and they ensure that they sleep there till the result is being counted. Even when electoral fraud was about to happen, they disagreed and said no, that they should give the actual word. And with this mindset, they achieve whatever they want. So we also know that human beings are highly unmequaterable. You cannot, we cannot be satisfied. And also, what is killing us is the spirit of adampancy. Everybody is being adamant in what they have to do or what they're supposed to do. Then believing that, oh, government, they will still do it. What happened during the election of Peter Obi and this
President Tinubu?
The President Tinubu? Yeah, we all are shouting that Peter Obi won the election. But during the election, I know how many people I asked, did you went for the election? They said, no, we didn't go. Why? It was our church day. We cannot go because of our church. It was Sabbath day. Many people. Then other people, oh, why am I going there? After going there, the people who will win the election will still win the election. So why am I going there to vote? Other people was giving different stories. Oh, why am I going there? Their votes will not count. I don't have PVC. and went to collect her PVC, they said, oh, they was giving me stress. That's why I didn't collect my PVC. So, but why are we shouting P2B? Whereas many people who supposed to vote, they keep on giving excuses why they didn't vote on that day. But they were still shouting, oh, they win. But people who understood their vote, we all were here shouting, oh, see how if you go to Hausa or Yoruba, people underage are voting, all these are voting. But when we said, okay, let underage vote in our place, then you and I will counter it and say, no, these people are not meant to be voted.
I don't even know where you're driving to. I don't know where you're driving to.
I'm driving.
Is it the right thing to underage for underage? Yeah, what is it for underage? Not
to corruption.
Vote?
Because
That's corruption. You're contradicting yourself.
We are talking about that P2B won election on this, but you.
Participation or what?
Okay, for example, did you vote on that day?
You should not include minors. If you're including minors,
that's underage.
Yeah.
This is politics.
So because of politics, we shouldn't do the right thing.
And this is what Socrates is. No, let me just.
if you're going under justice, if you're going under justice, that means you're not ready for politics.
Honestly, you contradict yourself now. Diverting. You are misleading us.
So what am I trying to say is that we live to protect. We did the election. How are we able to protect the election? Or we after the election or after voting, you just went back to your house and sleep. You don't know whether the election you did was reached to the polling unit or to the collection center. Since we know that it's not supposed to be done. We know that even if it's supposed to be so, we have the right to protect our election because we know that the system is not working. So we're supposed to support.
Calm down.
After voting, we have the that is why the body is being created.
Since you know that this electoral act has been manipulated by the opposition, then you have to protect your vote.
Political parties is what they're practicing. They're not practicing democracy.
That's a mentality. No, change it.
Because you didn't win.
America is practicing the personality of an individual.
Because is practicing democratic the political parties there. We want the APC to be the strongest because we want the APC to be the strongest.
Because your party didn't win the election. Assuming your party won the election,
I see.
There should maybe
I heard.
Oh, it was free election.
See,
your party didn't win. That's why it's not easy.
Bro, I'm not talking about party here. This is you are even the contributor of the downfall of Nigeria because with this thing you are saying, number one, you contradicted yourself by saying that the minors is okay, is legally to vote in an election.
I'm giving you an emphasis.
That is where you go.
I'm giving you an emphasis.
Do you see what he said?
I use it as an example.
Political participation has included the minors.
Are calling the one election that you people didn't win. Were you there to vote the election or you were in your room?
Those who voted, what happened?
People voted?
Those who voted, what happened?
How many people
because
voted?
I believe it. Wait. Let me read that. You are not talking. You are not.
They said no. We didn't go for the election.
Wait.
Why should we go?
What happened in Lagos State? What happened in Lagos State? When people came out in masses to vote and were denied, they were denied the right of franchise. What happened in Lagos State when people came out to vote? They were denied the right of franchise because they don't want to vote this particular political party. They want to vote the party they trusted, and we are denied of their franchise. What happened? Did you talk about denial of franchise that is existing in Nigeria? Do you talk about it? Do you talk about the snatching of ballot box? The people that are snatching those ballot box are the people in that party.
Okay,
do you talk about it?
The ballot box.
So what are you talking?
Are they not?
You are saying that people do not. Do you know how many? No, wait, bro. People in
as far as Nigeria is concerned, people has lose interest. People has lose trust.
If you lose interest, that means you don't have any right to participate.
Because because they have meant to understand that the systemic decisions of Nigeria in terms of political affairs is corrupt. When you are trying to improve and there is no improvement in your effort is seen as effortless. When you vote, the person you voted in there is not the person that won the election. We will still have an interest. The people has lose interest in their politics. And that's why people do not come to vote. Do you know how many people that have their beavers, but that have their voters card that do not vote? Do you know? When you vote, after they vote, remember, you as Shimedu, me as a man, I have one vote. We have one vote. If all of us in one particular state voted this person and another person, and you know that Nigeria has majority, many ethnic groups. One ethnic group is more populated than the other. And when these people, we saw what happened during this election, America, we see. Everything is quite clear. It's an open secret. You understand? Somebody. I'm not really talking about that because there are in Nigeria, as far as presidential system. Wait. I said earlier enough. Hey, it's not a conclusion now. You contradicted your conclusion. No. You contradicted your conclusion now.
Let me finish.
When you said that no is encourageable to vote in election in active participation. What are you saying? This is against international law, sir. Why to remind us? In international law, there is a specific age that you're supposed to vote. So you contradicted yourself. International law is you committed.
Now let me finish what I'm trying to say. So just sit down. Okay. So
if you want to become the president, you need to protect his votes. Not only your voters needs to protect their votes. You as a candidate, you need to also protect your votes. You need to be ready. Like Tinubu, we also that Tinubu, you said that there was people who were in the polling unit slapping people. That people can also hire the distance, the agents. We also what happened in Rivers State. The implement governor. Since you want to follow it, that way. Since you want to follow it that way, if it can result to war, let it result to war. Do you see if there is a need to cancel the election, you can't. If it can result to war, let it result to war. Since you want to follow it that way, to make sure you protect your vote.
And this thing you say is what is militating against
you can't wait to win election. You can't be too religious.
No.
You need to follow it. Any way they want to follow it, you need to follow it.
In every democratic environment, as far as African country is concerned, we are looking forward to America.
You are looking forward.
You are heading towards America.
You are looking forward to America because they didn't report the bad.
The way you want to follow it, then are these people still following it that way?
That is why we need to.
So the same way.
Why we need to go into regional government. Yes.
Since they are not following it that way, then you need to follow it the way they want to follow it.
No, you don't need to.
You need to. Since they are not doing the normal thing, then you need to follow them and do what they want to do. Yes. To protect your vote and protect your interest.
It means that you are supporting the corruption they are doing. No. You need to give the people.
If you cannot stand up as a candidate to protect your vote and your mandate, you are not ready.
There is nothing like
you are not ready to be empowered. Thank you.
When America is voting, they do not protect their vote. Everything is free and fair here.
Since you know the system you are into, then you have to follow it that way.
No, you don't need. If you follow it that way, which means it will become a tradition and norms.
Then bravo.
You don't need. You need to tell the generation.
Okay, let me finish. Okay, like I said before. The issue is not only based on those in political power. We also have a vital role to play if we want a better Nigeria or a better country.
Okay.
For example, you said you study political science. Yeah, we need somebody like you in the system to educate people who didn't study it, but they played it. You still have to be there to do what? To educate them. So you don't have to wait until you become the president or you become the governor before you share your own idea. There are many parastatals. There are many in your polling unit. You can start from your polling units, your village, training people, educating them. Educating them. So because you believe it, you can start it from your own place. Because you cannot do it because you don't want the progress of the country.
I was even collected to work in the ministry. I rejected the offer.
Because you don't want change. You don't want them to change.
I can never. The system is corrupt. Why should I work in the system?
So why are you fighting against corrupt system?
Corrupt, bro. I'm not corrupt.
You just made a statement here.
I'm not corrupt.
That during the last election, that
yes.
you were paid.
The money is your money now. The money is not your money.
Okay.
There is not your money. Give it back to you now.
Okay.
So
wait.
If you refuse not, wait. If they don't want you to vote the person you want, and they want the politician to collect the money and take it.
Okay, wait. Let me. Emma, come. You are wait. For example, now let me ask you something. Wait.
Want to climb to the podium?
No, wait. Okay, now wait. Do you know that you working out from the class? There are process that you should work out from the class. How will you work out without taking a permission from the teacher or from your lecturer? You just violate the law. So let's bring it down to politics. Like I said,
you contradicted yourself by saying that the minors should vote.
I didn't say the minors. I said I gave an emphasis. I lay an emphasis that when it comes to our own, we begin to do churches. But when it goes to their own, they do it how they want. What I'm trying to say is, we are fighting for the betterment of our people. When something comes to our place, we begin to be churches. Oh, I'm not going to vote. Oh, this person is voting. But what people we are calling, they are rigging election. We see how they are doing their election.
Let me tell you why Nigeria will never work.
So, like I said,
and it's working. It's not working. But Nigeria is not in your mind. It's in my head and mind. It's not working. That is in your mind. That's in your mind. Yeah. Nigeria is working.
Okay, like I said, what is affecting us is number one, the spirit of Adam Kwampansi.
Which one?
And also. We all are highly unmequaterable. So we want everything to happen immediately. If our government also have a very vital role to play, and we also, as an individual, we also have a very vital role to play. If we also admit on this and work in synergy, first of all, you don't have to sell your vote. You know, an average man, an average African man or average Nigerian man, once he have someone who is a politician or somebody in power, he want to use it as a maybe opportunity that comes but once. Using that, like for example, if I become your brother, your friend today, tomorrow I become the governor. Your interest will be what you will be benefiting from the state. You will be calling me from left to right. Hey, please, can you give me this contract? Whether you are qualified or not. Then if I don't give it to you, it becomes a yardstick to me. Then you begin to do what? To tell people I'm not a human being. But if I give you the contract, you will use it because me and you are friends. Then you say, oh, he will not do me anything because I'm your friend. Then you can do anyhow with the contract. Then if I get you arrested, people within your environment, both the clergy, the family member, they begin to beg me, oh, please, leave him, he's your friend, please, can you allow him to go? Then because of this also participated are some of the ingredients that is destroying our nation. So if we have this spirit that once you do this, whether you are my friend, whether you are my family or anybody, then you follow the law, then everybody will sit up. So with all this, I would like to submit by saying that all this issue that is happening today, we also are part and parcel of the issues that is happening in our country today. Thank you.
Okay, is it okay, so okay, how about the is the debate over now? I would have loved Emmanuel Obi to be around before I make my own summary, because to a large extent, at the stage, I felt that some of you don't understand the angle the Mangozi is going. And maybe because of that, some of you may have misinterpreted his position. So where are the, I mean, Emmanuel Obi is not here, right? Okay. Okay. In my own view, I think all of you, I am very, very happy. Oh, sorry, we have to hear from Dixon. He's the only one that has not met.
Taking his hand all through it. He even collected my
No, okay, you are the only one that.
Okay. So I will try and make this short. There were two please. We're in a classroom, please. Well, let's do class meeting. What's the other one? There were two scenarios here. One was the scenario of a child who did not choose what happened to him, or did not choose his future, or did not make the choices of life by himself. His uncle made it for him. And the second scenario was the scenario of the colonial empire having influence over the colony, which is adjudged by the scenario as exploitative. So, on joining these two scenarios and then linking it down to Nigeria, or link to Africa and then to Nigeria down, is starting from that of the child. The coming of the empire, or the British Empire, the colonial masters, they came with their own interests, and which they ensured that they ended up with a very long-term goal, which to an extent is still ongoing in Africa and Nigeria. Then back to the second scenario about the British, colony, the empire of the colonial masters coming for exploration and exploitations in the smaller countries. And these are still all going on. So linking that to African countries, we have seen that it's a no-brainer talking about it over and over. It's already something that is existing. The exploitation, the moving of crude oil, solid minerals to the West, and then buying it back as finished products. Now, the question is, what is the way forward? because other ones are just literatures talking about what has happened, what has been before. The way forward is for Africa to seek a pathway to economic dependency, to be able to know how to finish, to refine what the countries are already blessed with, turn it to finished product, produce what they consume, and consume what they produce. And then vis-a-vis, they can now export finished product. Because exporting finished product actually will have to go a long way in boosting the economy of Africans. But as long as they still remain in just for people to come in, explore, harvest, take away the raw materials, the minerals, the crude oils, and then wait to only buy the finished product, we will still be on that path of economic independence. Don't forget, we are still on dependency approach. So it seems what has happened before is that there are colonial masters that came in and then used their own strategy, both that of divide and rule, and then give and take, to institute things which were supposedly assumed or seen as development. However, they use it to take away resources which they will still produce, finish up, and return to still sell at high cost to the same people whom those things were taken from underneath their foot. So at this point, economic dependency will actually matter a lot. By us, through African banks and the other relevant agencies like AFTA, that's African Continental Free Trade Areas, and the rest, look for pathways to reducing external dependency and build sustainable national power. Because economic consideration is the hallmark of the whole thing. Until we are economically stable, we cannot control what and who comes from outside. I will rest my case right here. Smith?
Thank you. Okay, yeah, thank you. I just wanted to add something my brother said. I know what's the name? Ngozi said something based on we are not part of what is happening, and we all are part of it. We are part and parcel of it. But the main issue is the hair, because they are the leader. They give the rules, they make the law, regulations. So, and most of them were born before some of us, and we came, we saw the way they are living, the way they are doing things. So, and their behavior of doing things have affected us a lot, the youth. But the youth still have the vision of changing things, because a river doesn't flow through a valley without moving down a tree. Yeah, so the leaders, they need to do more, because we learn from them. If you born a child, the child learn from you. You don't learn from the child. You see, so we need to change our mindset. And one other thing I want to talk about, most of the time, we young people, we complain about our father, our mothers, and other people who are older than us. Then at the same time, we also make that same mistake. See, we are lacking implementation. We don't know how to implement. Yeah, we are following our great-grands' footsteps, making the same mistakes. You see, so we need to change. Okay, so that's my view.
Okay, so want to? I don't think you have made a contribution.
So back like we were saying, remember this dependency, this child was trained by his uncle, and his uncle took these whole decisions for him. Remember, before this child breaks out from this his uncle, it's going to be very difficult. So taking it back to Nigeria, that's why I have always put it on the colonial masters, because Nigeria is the child they have trained. That is why many a times, if they try to break out, there are so many structures which you and I don't know they have laid under. They try to use it against the people. For example, just like this Boko Haram. From there, it started as Boko Haram. From there, it was herdsmen. And don't forget, there was a time they went to kidnap Chibok girls. You don't tell me that. That is why I've always put it on the government. You don't tell me that this government don't know, and they don't know this Sambisa forest. They kidnapped those girls. They stayed there. They gave birth. They were giving birth. A lot of children. Inside that bush, remember, those kids don't come out. What they are taught there is what they will bring. And after, they will bring them and integrate them into the military. This is exactly what this dependency approach, that is why it's working very perfectly on Nigeria. And why you and I need to make a change is because you have come out from that zone and you are now enlightened. Remember, making the change is not going to be easy. That is why it falls on the government. This Sambisa forest, they know there. In developed countries, have you seen where terrorists negotiate with government? They go there, they give them. So these things they know. That is why breaking out from this, that is why I still put it on the colony. They know what they are doing. When they had the meeting in Aburi, Gowon and Ojukwu, they came back. Gowon got a call. He rejected it again. That was why Ojukwu declared the Easterner. That was how. So this thing is still on the colonial masters. So it's only God that will deliver us. You understand? So let me put it that way, because this is what they have put in our head. You get? So the only solution to it is just like you and I, who have come out from that zone. Thank you. And changing the mindset. You cannot change the mindset and still go back there and still tell me Nigeria. Changing the mindset, there must be a kind of secession. Something must have to be done. But telling me going back to still work with the same system, my brother, it's going to be difficult. I rest my case.
Okay, so Emmanuel is back. So now let me make a kind of my own summary. Anyway, there's one thing that you guys quote in the Bible. It is said that my people perish for lack of knowledge or lack of wisdom. My people perish for lack of knowledge. So in this class, I want to make it very clear that what Emmanuel Obi and Collins, what you guys are saying, I think everybody agrees with you. But we have problem. Everybody, when I say everybody, almost everybody, we have point of divergence and point of convergence. Yes, we have a system that may not be so wonderful, but the issue remains solution. And that solution is you and I. And I'm not saying that you must take what I am just putting up, because everybody's entitled to his own opinion and then continue with that. But the point is that if we continue to build on the fact that we have to keep blaming the colonial masters or blaming the leaders, I doubt if we will ever grow from there. Yes, we all agree that leaders actually messed up the system. But don't always forget, they use people like you and I to get it done. And that is where my point is. How come that I accepted money, use this money to vote against my conscience, use the money to hijack, what do you call it? Ballot paper, because you can never see a governor going to hijack ballot paper. Because it's not possible to see a House of Rep hijacking ballot paper. It's rare to see a senator hijacking ballot paper. It's unthinkable to see the presidential candidate hijacking ballot paper. And who are the people hijacking it? People, you and I, in the same level that we're talking about right now. It's on this ground that I want us to always look at it constructively in order to know if we could get something there that may solve, that might be a solution. Maybe we need more education so that people will realize that it is our responsibility to protect our vote. And that is what Emmanuel Ngozi was talking about when he was pointing out something that he was trying to, in my own understanding what he said, he was trying to say that in the North, because they understood the politics, that's why they keep ruling us. In my own, that's what I think he was trying to say. That even over there, they're trying to manipulate the system to even underage and do. I don't think he's saying that we should do that, but he's saying that for us to understand the political, that's the way I view what he was saying. For us to understand, no, that's my own. No, that's my own. Okay.
So is that okay? Is that okay?
Okay, so I'm just expressing my interpretation of what he meant, which I think is actually what he meant, because I was following his line of argument that we will be there talking, I will be there doing this, but then these other people were pointing out, look at what they are doing. Why not we do that? Something like, I mean, my understanding is that he's making an argument, and in that argument, trying to let us see how Nigerian political system works, how people get vote, and how they buy vote, even without putting money there. But when it comes to our side, then we tend to be too churchos, and we tend to be too good, or I don't know the word to use. He is not a moralist. I'm not a moralist, but he's trying to express. He's trying to express. That's the way I see what he was saying. He's trying to express why instead of no, it is not. But he was trying to.
If Northerners are doing this and they are successful in the leadership, the process they went through is not good.
Of course, now.
That is not democracy.
No. They cannot say it's not a democracy. Because it might be in one place and not. It might happen in one place and did not happen. And so we cannot use because of one place and condemn others.
We let it happen in one place. There's something that is doing Nigerian government. I want to say like.
Where's the mic? I'm actually summarizing.
No. So what is the solution? You don't want to condemn. You don't want to condemn this line.
No, okay. Let me talk with Emmanuel now.
Okay, there is something during
yes. Wait. They said.
Tell you the solution.
They say it's a native game. It's not said by man.
I will tell you
it's a general thing.
This very topic, we did it as a course in the past. So when we are in this line, this political development, even now after the constitutional development, we did this. And I asked a lecturer that is taking this, why is it that during Nigerian electoral period, the current government there don't want to shift? Because let us look at the American system. During that time, there is no veto power.
There is no veto power. Nobody is inside that system. Once it is your time elapses, you give away. Why our own still have that power of incumbency? Why? And the response he gave me, and I see that response as an irrelevant. Now he said, politically, it was thought that if they pave a way for this, there will be something like the nation will abort a vacuum. There will be, would I say, inversion of the military system. During the electoral period, supposedly, this is where it should be, that the city government there should not be there, so that he will lack the power of incumbency. Because they are using the power of incumbency to manipulate the election. And the response is, if they pave the way, the nation will abort a vacuum. Meaning there will be replacement, there will be an inversion of the military. And it sounds so irrelevant to me because even in America, they pave a way and there is no inversion in the military, from the military aspect. So why should it be in Nigerian politics? Is that not an irrelevant reason? So when we look at this process, we see that Nigeria just turn everything upside down.
Okay, now the point is not that everything you are saying is in my own view. You are stating things as they are, but the problem is, where is the solution?
See, the solution could have started from the regime of Gowon.
So in other words, what's the solution? We're still living.
Now,
government. Hold on.
Yes.
We're still living, and you're using Nigerian passport, and I'm using Nigerian passport.
Yes.
It's a recognized state, nation state. And many things are being governed, and many things are going on well. Just like Emmanuel Ngozi just pointed out. No matter whether you agree or not, Nigeria has developed a lot. Even the Western countries, when they started, I think they started worse than where we are now. So, but they developed, and they keep developing. So the point is that all of us here, most of us here are Nigerians. Please, can you just offer solution as a student of political science and a student of international relations, or call it a student of peace studies and diplomacy? Where is the solution? Because there must be a solution. We shouldn't be hopeless. There is hope. And that hope might come from you. And that hope might come from colleagues. And that hope might come from any of us here. Where is the hope? Because, and if you give us that solution, make sure you spread it. So that because the position you are holding, including that of Collins, believe it or not, that's, in my own view, might be 90% of positions of most Igbos, mostly Igbos. But the point is that we may be very correct, but where is the solution? It's because we don't profile solutions. We tend to blame the mom, blame the dad, blame the leader, blame almost everybody around us except ourselves. Where is the solution? That's the point. Because there should be a solution. The fact that you are not seeing it, then maybe you need reflection to see it, because there must be a solution. Nigeria of yesterday, when we were here, we rarely sent money. We rarely do anything with money. It is not possible. But today, Nigerian banking systems are standing. Before, we have international passport that you can stay anywhere and then do international passport, but you cannot because it's e-passport already. There are so many things moving on a positive side, despite the fact that we are not where we should be. So we should not be too pessimistic, in my own view. Solution.
Okay. Looking at the solution now, if you look at the approaches in political development, you will see that if a government first, because I'm with one vote, you're with one vote. All of us say we are with one vote first. Now, and the system has been designed to favor the people that is inside there. Second, if we follow these political development approaches, you will see where people come outside to protest against the bad governance.
You can-
Look at what happened in Kenya. There was a massive protest, violently for that matter. And after that, the government sit up. Let us situate it in Nigeria governmental system. After the protest, Nigeria has conducted a series of protests. What happened? Nothing. And during this protest is where the citizens air their view. Because you and I may not be opportune to be there. There are people who are expertise in that field. But because the system has been monetized, if you are not financially buoyant, that is what Socrates is saying. I will come to that during the presentation. You will quite understand why there will be no solution on this shambolic system. You understand? Let me tell you. Now, first, the system has been designed to favor the people that are inside there. And they will not give you the chance to come and retrieve everything. They will never give you that avenue to do that. And the citizens air their view through protest demonstration peacefully. And after that, what did they get in return? You will see when police arrested people, the minors, taking them to prison. Is that the kind of environment we want to live? Is that the environment you want to correct? Why I say that the system started scattering from the ground is after the Biafra Civil War. He promised Nigeria three things: reconciliation, rehabilitation, and reconstruction. Let us do a regional government, of which he promised. What happened? He did nothing. Had he been go on conducting a regional government today, what is happening in Nigeria will not be happening. Because every state needs to be autonomous of its own. You need to rule your own, because the idea of an Hausa man is not the idea of an Igbo man. If I bring my own idea, I might be contradicting an Hausa man and contradicting a Yoruba man at the same time. Because we are occupied with many ethnic groups. So when you are learned and you are in your view from one angle, and another person, you don't know that you are contradicting what that person is even thinking of. Your mindset and their mindset is not the same. So had it been, we cannot provide a solution in Nigeria if there is no confederal system, or everybody go on their own path. Because we are born with different ideology and culture. Okay. We came up with different backgrounds. We come up with different understanding of what government is all about. When you ask an Hausa man, what do you know about government, he will give you an interpretation of what you understand on government. A Yoruba man will give you, and an Igbo man will give you. And these are varieties of definitions which may not be in contact to the central definition of what politics is all about or what democratic environment should be. And we can never provide any solution on this.
Okay. That is a wonderful contribution anyway.
Solution is confederate.
Okay. Anyway, so back to what we are talking about. So whatever is the case, Collins and Obi Emmanuel and most of us here, please, whatever is the case, there is always a solution. We should be the solution. What we are going through in all over the world is a fact that our government has an issue as a government, but then also it is also a fact that myself as Emmanuel may have behaved in certain ways that wherever I may have found myself as viewing all Nigerians like that, not because of government. This is a fact. I don't know where to start and where to end. But to keep blaming the government is where we differ. And again, even in some places, in some cases, government must have done their best. But individuals, they still could not. There are parents that may have done very well to train their children, but the children still grew up in a very bad way. Maybe because of influence from friends. So, I can see the passion. All of us, I think we are agreeing in everything Emmanuel is saying. We also agreeing in your position, Colin, but I will always remember where we may disagree is solution. There must be a solution. There must be a solution. And you are the solution. That's why you're here. And I believe Imobi is a solution, and then all of us here are a solution as well. That's why we're here. We shouldn't be discouraged. I understand the passion. I understand the reason why we feel the way we feel, but we shouldn't be discouraged. There must be a solution. In everything, there must be a solution. And that solution is what we contribute, what we put on the table. Of course, when Emmanuel Ngozi was also talking, I would like to go back to the way I understood what he was saying. We should shine our eyes, because sometimes I tend to think that almost every northern people, they know and understand Nigerian politics more than an Igbo person. And this explains, go back to election last year, my own view, I may be wrong. 75, Obi, 78, Kerenke, 79, Obi, 78, Obi, that was wonderful. But the fact is that politics is not about emotion. It's about calculation. Some people say it's a dirty game. So, and it's incumbent on us, and in fact, it's an expectation from us, for most of us that are talking, and most of us are from eastern part of the country, to please learn more about politics. And we can also develop from there, from our eastern part. Because believe it or not, secession. Most of us are running away from many things here, not from political point of view. Most of us from that eastern part we're talking, we're running away from our uncles, our families, our nieces, our cousins, in fact, the environment itself in a kind of every village is actually a big problem. So it's not a question of secession, because that's why most people run away from the eastern part to go to another part and develop that particular part in the same country, but they will not do it in their own state. Majority, you can bear me witness with that. Why? So sometimes secession, without proper knowledge, we are heading nowhere. Secession. Now check almost all the atrocities. I don't know whether if I go, I will be going, it will be kind of targeting a particular tribe. But if we can be sincere and honest, check all over the world. For some of course, most of you here are Nigerians, almost one or two are not. Check all over the world and ask yourself, take a statistic of those who are committing various crimes you can imagine. Think of in America, think of Europe, think of Asia, think of South America and other places. Why should that be? And why are we still excusing that? December is coming now, and many people will do a lot of things. Why? To go home and show off. And when they show off, we are the same people that will clap hand. We're the same people that even worship them and follow them because they make money, we don't know where it's coming from. Let us stop this. In my own view, I think we have a lot to do in our understanding of life, in our own position about life. Because other people, other tribes we are thinking about, they also do a lot of things too in a negative way. But I think ours is in such a way that if you keep record, let's say, I just pity Nigerian members in Thailand, because if they keep record, I'm sure if they continue to keep record, they might come and talk, and then we might accuse them of tribalism. But the fact that even here in Thailand, we have so many associations and so many, when we gather, what do we talk? What do we discuss about? If we are really doing what we're supposed to do as leaders in our various communities, why should we be having every time names, the same particular surname coming from a particular tribe in this particular country we are, committing one crime or another? Of course, I'm included. Maybe I will soon commit my own. I'm not making myself to be a saint. But the problem I'm having is that when we keep pushing things aside, blaming the government, blaming the system, probably blaming the father, blaming the mother, we tend to forget that we have a responsibility here as an individual. And when we if people who blame, they are in the scale of 10, 90 people like to blame the government, then we are now supporting them by having an excuse the why, that the means of making money, even if it's illegal or not, nobody cares. And we keep on creating a system that is itself foundationally distorting. This is not a question of government alone. It's not a question of secession. Where are we seceding to? Which kind of foundation or moral ground are we standing on? And we don't want to talk about it. And when nobody, you dare not talk, because if you talk, you'll be dismantled. If you talk, you'll be called names. I've not even had opportunity to address most of us in this country. Maybe because I'm not in a better position. I have my own weakness. I have my own areas that I commit my own nature of my own crime that maybe the other person does not. But the fact remains that in terms of nation state, we must and should not build it in this kind of excuses. So it's on this ground that I will call on us to also understand this dependency theory from different point of view. You are dependent. Sometimes, in my own view, psychologically, it may be even depending on your weakness, and your weakness might be your own dependent, might be your own colonial master, but you don't know. I may be doing that, I don't know. And what is my weakness? That in our community, in our state, in our environment, we have designed that very, very bad approach towards clapping and then praising people who make money illegally. And we try to station it so much so that, you know, some of our states that a father will buy a computer for a child of 15 years because he heard that is where the money is coming from. They call it Yahoo Plus or whatever. And this is a society we are thinking that we can stand on. And then after we blame the other person, just like the Bible says, you too. The woman you gave me is not me. Okay, so that is what I have to add to it. All the points you guys raised here, I will agree with that. But I will go further to maintain that solution is you and I, in my own view. And once you stand on your ground, try to get 1 or 2 persons or 3 persons, then probably one day there may be a revolution. Then what Emmanuel is crying for, Emmanuel is crying for might be in a reality. Because if a system is messed up, it needs a kind of revolution. It might be a mental revolution. It might be a kind of political revolution. It might be whichever kind of revolution. But it cannot come if the people themselves do not understand the tenets of political development, the tenets of political activities. So this is how I will view that. I will summarize it. So I do hope that the child that was trained by the uncle must also, to a large extent, stand up and tell the uncle, thank you for training me. May I stand from here? May I continue from here to add to my own personal input? So let me summarize this so that the mother will do the needful if he is ready today. Okay, look at this evolutionary approach. I will rush over it because this one looks simple. Are you there? Hello? Are you guys there? Evolutionary approach in this kind of situation. Let's imagine another scenario. A kid, look at it again. A kid wants to be wealthy and successful when they grow up. So that kid studies hard, gets good grades, goes to college, graduates, and gets a job. Why did the kid do this? Because that is the expected path. This scenario equates to our next model, the evolutionary approach, which basically states that political development occurs in a step-by-step progression focused on achieving a specific end. In our scenario, that end was a good job. In terms of political development, that end is assumed to be an industrialized economy. Hello? Are you guys getting the point? Are you sure you get this point? Or do I repeat it? Manuel, are you there? Do you get the point? Sure? Collins, do you get this scenario? Are you sure? Let me repeat it again. Smith, are you there? A kid wants to be a wealthy and successful when they grow up. So that kid studies hard, gets good grades, goes to college, graduates, and gets a job. He's already studied hard. He's already gotten a job. Why did this kid do this? Because that is the expected part. The scenario equates to our next approach, the evolutionary approach, which basically said that political development occurs in a step-by-step progression focused on achieving a specific end. In our scenario, that end was a good job. In terms of political development, that end is assumed to be an industrialized economy in terms of nation state. Is that clear? Okay, let's move on. In evolutionary approach is most often used to describe assumed patterns a nation will go through in order to develop a fully industrialized economy. There are actually several theories built around this, describing the expected social, political, economic changes that accompany each step. Many see this approach as reliably predicting the behaviors and experiences of nations, trying to guide their own political development. However, it's also based on the notable assumption that all nations will eventually develop along an industrial model. You will notice that we call it the evolutionary approach, as in a non-optional system of change necessary for survival. That assumption has made some scholars concerned about Western bias being cast over the rest of the world. What have you to say about evolutionary approach? Any comment? Or you agree with that? Emmanuel has, who has the mic? Can you give Emmanuel? Evolutionary approach. Evolutionary. He gets the job, he works hard, and then develops.
Yeah, that is the kind of system we need. It's a functionable system that a citizen studies, being knowledgeable in one particular field, and after that gets a job and work. That is how a system should be. A system should not be, after the studies, you need to have a connection in the government or in any company before you be able to work. But a system should be defined according to the qualification and how knowledgeable enough you are to work in
Merit-based.
the state.
That is merit-based.
Yeah, merit.
Okay, so any other person, in addition to, do you have anything to add to evolutionary? Maybe I especially want you guys to get tired before Emmanuel will present so that the argument will be lesser. Okay, do I proceed to finalize it? Okay, institutional approach. Let's imagine one last scenario. There is a kid who wants to grow up to get a good job and have a good life. The kid gets into college, but then her parents dies. Her parents die. Now the kid has to make money and get a job. In order to finish school, she turns to night classes and studies part-time while working. Eventually, she graduates and gets a better job. What have you to say about this institutional approach? Okay. Can I? Let's imagine one last scenario. There is a kid who wants to grow up to get a good job and have a good life. The kid gets into college, but then her parents die. Now the kid has to make money and get a job. In order to finish school, she turns to night classes and studies part-time while working. Eventually, she graduates and gets a better job. How can you situate it with the nations? Points, please.
Actually, when we talk about this institutional approach, first,
role in the life of every citizen. And as the institution is playing the role for you, it still demands your collective effort. Because when we look at the political institution, it shapes the mind of every citizen in terms of political affair. So when we talk about the institutional approach, the political institution reshapes the mind of everybody towards political affair. And it, as this institution is playing a good impact, this is the way it should be, playing a good impact in our life. You as an individual, you still have your own role to play in political affair. So here, the child understands that there is no help again. And he started working, putting all efforts, which should be seen in every individual living in every country. The institution need our own effort to survive. And we still need the effort of the institution, because could have been the child after everything suffering and after all studies and the night classes must have spent, and he applied for a job and the job could not be given to the person. The child will see the effort as effortless or being hopelessness on the institution. But on this scenario now, the institution still play their own role positively forward, accepting the application of the child. And the child still put more effort in order to see that he grows in the field and achieve the goal and achieve his or her ambition in it. So as the institution is trying to reshape our mind, is trying to grow us in the field, we ourselves should put more effort to see that we fit in to the institution. Thank you.
Wow, so thank you very much. Who else can say something about this institutional approach? Remember, read it clearly. In order to finish school, she turns to night classes and studies part-time while working. Eventually, she graduates and gets a better job.
Yeah.
A kid wants to grow up to get a good job and have a good life. The kid gets into a college, but then her parents die. Now the kid has to make money and gets a job. Consider this to be a country. Consider this to be a nation state.
Okay, yeah, that's actually why I decided to ask for the mic. So this scenario is actually in plain sight. Say from independence, wants to grow, wants to develop, wants to be reckoned with. But due to several factors, it's gone the other way. That's where they say that, for instance, in this instance now, they said the parents died. But this is that point where those obvious excuses should not stop the country. Yes, the colonial master have done XYZ. Yes, the economy is dwindling. In fact, it has crumbled. Yes, there's corruption ravaging everywhere. There's insecurity. This is where the kid now goes as far as suffering his or herself to get into night class. That means the country at this point have to work hard to explore and harness which way forward to still achieve that ultimate goal, which is back to the line of good development and fulfillment, at least. So this is where the country have to look inward: economic development, attitudinal change, sacrifice, tightening our belt even from the point of, even from the stage of our, from the side of our own leaders, avoiding unnecessary national expenses, then saving for the rainy day, and all that and all that. That's what you see sacrifice. The kid working by the day, schooling at night, looking for those things, leaving the excuse, yes, the parents are dead. Should he just give up and then tomorrow or 20 years later say, oh, well, I wanted to go to school because my parents died. So that was it. There was nobody to take care of me. So I roamed the streets. That was the only choice available. What about working and study? So this is that point when we have to look at the point where the country has to look at sacrifice, attitudinal change, internal economic building. Can't we just can't we still work on producing these things we import, and so many other reasons? So I bet to stop here. It's actually a lot to
Yeah, that is a good analysis, because we are imagining this to be a country, institutional approach, country growing, country has a good plan, country that has the best, as most of you are trying to say. Along the line, there may have been a civil war, there may have been something that may have happened, but you never give up and continues to the struggle for the nation's building. Okay, continue.
Okay. Yeah. This story, it reminds me of back home Liberia. We are seeing this on a daily basis every time. You know, a girl child or boy child will go to school. End of the day, the mom follow that. It's not easy, you know, for him or her. But it's also boils down to the political development. Instance, if you have or we have a good governance or good leaders, I think we will put some things in place. Because for this story, the girl was going to school and her mom and her dad passed away. If she was in Europe or the US, she was taking student loan to portray her degree. You know, but this story is mainly about undeveloped country like my country, Liberia, Nigeria. We don't have that kind of system where you can take student loan. Maybe if you don't have anybody to help you. So I think this story, she didn't have, I don't know where she lives at that time. I don't know where this story is about Liberia or US. I don't know the main country of this story. So I cannot just conclude, say, you know, she didn't go to why she didn't go to school. You know, I don't know the story country. So, but in my own understanding, is all about the leaders. If we have a good leaders, there will be some things won't happen so easily. Like if you don't have a mom or dad, the government will have place for you, accommodation, you know, will have free schools, you know, it will help you. Like in Thailand, you have school from grade 1 to grade 12 free. You know, in the US the same, but I don't know in my country. I don't think it's there. Yeah, from grade 1 to 12. Even if it is there, you will still pay more money. You know, so it's so sad. You know, if you don't have mom and dad to portray your school, it's not easy. So yeah, so that's my view. It all boils down to the leaders, the political development. If we have a good leaders, all these things will happen. Someone who doesn't have school fees, go to nightclub, become a prostitute. It's so sad, you know? Yeah. So
Any other person, anything to say in relation to nation state, in relation to a country? Okay.
Let me explain about differences between evolutionary approach and institutional approach. Okay, evolutionary approach look like who was born in England. They already have the good government, infrastructure, and good income. So whatever he expect or her expect is will be happen. But institutional approval is look like Myanmar. Okay. Last 10 years ago, we are on fire and good education and good economic system, everything almost military good. Look like the